Hey everyone, Joe here, and this is the last video for Module 3, Lecture 3. So we're going to finish up the stochastic effects of radiation, so let's get started. In this video, I'm going to talk about the genetic effects of radiation exposure, and you should try to remember the name of H.J. Mueller. This is a person who did radiation studies with fruit flies, and the results that he came up with are what the NCRP base their radiation protection policies on. So it's a good person to remember for a pretty simple question on the registry exam. So what Mueller did was he irradiated these fruit flies and then studied their genes after irradiation. And he was able to determine that the response to radiation for these fruit flies followed a linear non-threshold curve. He also concluded that although increase in radiation doesn't magnify the effects of those genetic mutations, but it does increase the frequency in which mutations do take place. Now again, these are fruit flies, but we do equate that study and place it onto humans, and by using those results, the NCRP decides that, you know what, we do need to protect ourselves against any type of genetic effects from radiation, so therefore they've included it in their guidelines for radiation protection. So genetic effects and diagnostic X-ray. We can say for certainty that the amount of X-ray that we use in diagnostic radiology will cause essentially zero genetic effects. There's no need to protect ourselves against this much radiation. It's very, very low. Again, that magic number that seems to pop up all the time in studies happens to be 100 milligray. And again, that's a lot of X-ray. That is several CT exams, nothing that you're going to get out of a diagnostic X-ray environment. So once again, do you even need to protect yourself? Maybe after you're receiving doses or going to be in an area of at least 100 milligray, you should probably take some protection measures. But we know that we're not going to get anywhere near that in a fluoroscopy environment, in an OR environment with a C-arm. And we're using lead. We're practicing time, distance, and shielding anyway. So the chances of any type of genetic effect affecting us as workers is virtually nil. And same could be said about any patient that's involved in one of those exams. Now, studies that have involved pre-fertilized eggs in female animals have shown that, yes, there is some sensitivity to radiation in the environment. However, if there is any type of aberration, it does show the ability to repair itself and repair itself quickly, which is a good thing. And finally, again, just to mention one more time that if a male patient is involved or in an environment that has about 100 milligray of exposure in the environment, that it is recommended that they halt any attempts for procreation for at least 60 days to allow those cells to kind of be expelled, and then allow new cells where there might not be any type of genetic effect to those new cells be the ones to be used in procreation going forward. And finally, despite all of the studies with fruit flies, to the best of our knowledge and with all the studies that we've done, which aren't a lot, again, because we haven't had too many opportunities to study humans that receive this type of radiation dose, we have not seen any data that suggests that radiation-induced genetic effects occur in humans. And the best example of that is that we have followed those atomic bomb survivors from 1945, and we've followed their descendants throughout the years, and they have not shown any type of radiation-induced genetic effects. So as far as we know, we have no way of determining that there is a radiation-induced genetic effect from radiation exposure. So, interestingly enough. All right, with that tidbit of information, I'm going to wrap things up here. So this is going to wrap up Lecture 3 for Module 3. And so you will be responsible for Lecture 2 and Lecture 3 for this quiz coming up on Friday, April 3rd. And if you have any questions, shoot me an email. Like I said to some already, I am willing to do a Zoom meeting with you one-to-one, or if a few of you want to get together to ask me some questions before the quiz or before Friday, feel free to do that. Otherwise, I will see you guys 9 o'clock on Friday. And Take care. Good luck.